Hey there, Mike Dunn here at Origins Game Fair at our booth this year with Alex Radcliffe
How's it
from
going?
Board Game Co. And I just thought I'd have Alex over so we could just chat. Like we're both in the media space, and it's really rare to like see people like us like just chatting and talking to each other about the stuff we like doing, right? So yeah. Let's talk about like why the hell are we doing this anyway?
I mean, I know my answer. I have no idea as far as what you like. You and I have very different structures of how we operate.
Right.
Like I'm a guy in front of a camera. I have a team of two. It's very simple, very straightforward. You have like a whole lot of things going on.
Yep.
I know how I started. I know why I do what I do. Well, I guess I'll start with there. I'll start there.
Yeah, start there. Yeah, let's go.
For me, I think one of the things that's interesting to me is I hate public speaking. I truly hate it. I've always appreciated, I think it's Seinfeld who has a joke that the number 4 fear in America is death and the number 1 fear is public speaking,
right.
Which means at a funeral, more people would rather be in the coffin than giving the eulogy, which I always appreciated because I felt that way.
Totally.
But what I found is that that's only because I never had anything I cared to talk about. Mm-hmm. I am very passionate about board games. I've loved this hobby since I got into it in 2011. I am someone who's had a lot of hobbies over the years. I've done Warhammer, Magic the Gathering. I've done magic and juggling and drawing. I haven't actually done musical instruments, but I've had a lot of hobbies. And they've all been phases. They lasted a few years and I moved on to the next thing. I've been in board games since 2010, 2011, 2012, and it's completely like, it's a huge part of my life and I'm passionate about them. And like once upon a time, I had a little blog post in the email list and whatnot, and I'd write little like weekly write-ups about games, and I always enjoyed it. Like, oh, I just played Quacks of Quedlinburg. You know, I'm not as into it as people seem to be, but I do enjoy it. I see the appeal. I enjoy doing write-ups. But there's always so much work writing things out. Like, and this is where you can do a lot of writing.
Yeah, exactly.
But to me, like, I love the process of writing, but I find it more, I think, I rethink, I type, I retype.
Oh no, I'm a total perfectionist. Like, I overthink all of my writing. It's agonizing to me.
And so I loved it. I loved the idea of putting my thoughts on something I'm passionate about onto paper, but I didn't like the process because I felt like I couldn't do it enough.
Right.
And video, which accidentally, at one point I started doing Instagram. I didn't get too into it. I still have an Instagram. I'm not passionate about it. I enjoy a good photo of a board game, but like it's not the thing I'm passionate about. And then I started doing YouTube one day, assuming that would never do anything because like, you know, there's so many YouTubers out there. So it would never go anywhere. But I was like, fine, I'll sit down, I'll start doing videos. And it was an opportunity to talk about something I'm passionate about and to continuously talk. And like, I'll frequently get questions like, oh, you don't have to do videos. Like you're traveling, you're doing this, you're doing all these things. You don't have to do videos all the time. And I'm like, but then I can't talk about all these games. There's so many games to talk about. I'm never going to keep up no matter what, but I like talking about something that I'm passionate about. So that's my why.
And that's something we share is that passion. And I think you have to have that passion to do this because we're not making the big bucks here, folks. Like it's for the fun of it. And to be fair, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, especially if once you start figuring out what you're doing, right? Yeah. Once you get past that fake it till you make it stage, right?
You get past that?
A little bit. It's in waves, right? Yeah. But yeah, no, it's super cool. I actually started in video games because Gamingtrend started off originally as a console-specific site, and then we rebranded and became a little more general. And at one point, we decided, hey, why are we just covering video games when we can cover video game culture and all these things that are adjacent to video games? And that's why I like that we changed to Gamingtrend because it's about all gaming.
What was your name before?
It was Console Gold. We were a spin-off site of a website called Gone Gold that was popular back in the late 90s. But we did have a guy step up and start our tabletop coverage about 12 years ago. But it was just kind of like a side thing. And then 6-7 years ago, I got totally burned out on video games. Totally burned out. And I told my partner, Ron, I think I need to take a step back. And he was like, well, wait a second. You've been getting back into board games and TTRPGs like on your own. And we've been talking about how we need someone to take that and really kind of push it to kind of greet where the market was going. In terms of like how big gaming, board games and tabletop games were becoming, why don't you just take it over? And I was like, I'm going to have to think about that. And I spent about a week just kind of writing some stuff down and figuring out, all right, if I do this, I want to have a really good idea, like a mission statement,
Okay.
a reason for why I'm doing it, so that I'm not just kind of aimlessly doing it. And in the process of that, I realized, oh, this is something I'm really excited about. And ever since then, like I've gotten more into video. And yeah, I was not excited. That took me way out of my comfort zone. Like, I may make it look easy now. Like, I've had people tell me that, and I'm just like, you don't really know.
My earlier videos are something else. That's something else.
Yes. But yeah, no, now I can't get enough of it.
Awesome.
Like, this is all I want to do. And
it's a great origin story, and no dead uncles needed.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So what do you think about where the state of the hobby is right now?
State of the hobby. Oh my gosh. There's so many ways to even examine that question. But I think that every single media-based industry, whether it's books, music, movies, video games, they all go through this phase of just insane growth. And part of it as well is that they're very passion-driven. Right. So it's not like a job where you're like, oh, I'm going to make spreadsheets because I'm excited about it. No, but you might want to act because you're excited. You might want to do music because you're excited about it. Mm-hmm. And that means these hobbies do tend to flood, get to a certain critical mass, and then just we're in a glut of board games.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a wealth of riches right now.
Which is both things. It's very, very good in some ways, but it also, like, we are seeing companies failing a little bit because they took on a degree of growth, but everyone's trying to grow and not everyone can keep up and hold that market share. When the amount of content being produced exceeds the market for that content, you're going to see rough spots.
Yeah.
Now, this is not the death of board games, not in the slightest. I think board games are we're in a growth phase. So it's still a growth phase. It's still the market adapting, trying to figure out where things are up to. For me, one of my biggest challenges is being equally excited, being able to approach every new board game as if it might be somebody else's first board game. Right. You have to do that.
Yep.
But you also have to be able to approach every board game with recognition of the other board games out there.
Yeah.
Both things are true, and those things are inherently at odds.
Yeah.
How can I grade you as a game while being fair to the fact that it might be someone else's first game, might be in a game that you're incredibly excited about, but also recognizing that it might not be good enough because there's other games that have done this better already and will do it better again. And they're almost directly at odds, and it's a big challenge for me to have that.
Right. But, right. And to speak a little more about like how the industry is growing, like, one of the things that got me excited about making the switch from video games to tabletop games was I was recognizing some of the same patterns of growth that happened previously in video games as video games started becoming more mainstream. And one of those patterns when the market grows is, yes, there's a lot more good games. There's a lot more diversity, which I think is amazing. Yeah. But there's also a lot more shovelware, right?
Yeah, shovelware. It's a great term.
That's from the video game side, right? But yeah, like, remember when the Wii was like huge, and there were tons of just horrible games that came out for it. But there were some great ones too.
That's the thing. It's impossible.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I think we're at right now. Now, how has this growth affected how you cover games?
So I think that, to me, the biggest thing is, once upon a time in board games, I remember when I got into the hobby, and I felt like I could cover every game that I wanted to cover. Not cover, that wasn't covering, I was playing. I felt I could play every game that I wanted to play. But I don't even have that as a potential. Like, the way I usually put it is, right now, currently, there's like 7,000 new games that come out a year. Mm-hmm. But if you restrict the 7,000 to only ones that are rated a certain level and have enough popularity, you're still down to like 600 games. Yep. Which means if I play a new game every single day, I still can't keep up with the new stuff, let alone the old stuff. Which is bad on the one side, but it also means that the knowledge that I will not keep up does give you a certain... When you think you can keep up, you want to chase it. Well, I want to chase it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Once you recognize you can't, you're like, okay, I can't play everything. Let's take a step back. Let's play the things I'm passionate about. Let's only say yes to the games I'm really interested in. It's okay that I don't need to play every single good Euro that comes out because I have so many good Euros. But which games spark my attention and imagination in a way that I'm like, I'm interested. I want to play that game. And so it makes me more selective. The problem is I get more selective every year and more games come out every year. Right. So the problems don't change. It's just I'm adapting, but not adapting fast enough.
Well, and see, that's where I feel like I'm lucky in that I have a team of people. And like, if I think something is going to be interesting to me, chances are it's going to be interesting to someone else. But I only have so much time, and you know this. Yeah. And I can't play everything, but I have we're an outlet. I can
Yeah.
I can assign games to other members of my crew, and some of them have specialties. Some of them have specific types
Like
of
dungeon
genres that they
crawlers,
like.
solo games,
Right.
party games. Yeah.
Like I was thrilled when I brought on Randy Gregory the second last year because he's a hobby guy, and so he's tackling a lot of like painting and he did a great review of Army Painter's new war paint.
Oh, nice,
line.
nice. Yeah.
And he just
So that's a great example.
Right.
I remember when they came out with it, I wanted to, but I'm like,
Right.
I just don't have the bandwidth. I don't cover everything.
Yeah. And you want to do it right?
Yes.
You want to do the product justice.
Yes.
So it's hard when you're split in so many directions.
Yeah.
But now that has a flip side for me, right? Like as a consequence, I'm delegating more and I don't review as often as I used to. And also I'm trying to like kind of set the pattern for how we do other kinds of coverage like video and social media and that sort of thing. But that said, I do have a large contingent of local folks on my team, and every Saturday we get together at our board game club and we play games. And I actually get to play more games as a result of that because everybody has to. I need to review this one. Let's get this to the table. And so that's super fun.
I do love hanging out with the viewers because we're all like, my group I have to be mindful of. I have to like not push too many of the new games to them. So it's a little balance. Here's something new that I feel like, and here's that old game that you love, which is great. It's the main way I get to play old games by having non-reviewer friends.
Yeah.
But then my reviewer friends, I'm like, we pull out a game and all of us are like, we just got that copy in. Let's all play it together because we all have to cover it. It makes things a little easier.
Right. Now I know we're both busy folks.
Yep.
So we should probably wrap this up.
Sure.
But I want to do one little fun question. Like
Me.
what's got you most excited right now?
Game-wise or anything-wise?
Industry, game-wise.
Say a game anyway.
Yeah.
Let me think. What's got me most excited right now?
Just let's stick with a game. Let's make it easy. What game just has you like, ooh, I can't wait until I get my hands on it.
So SETI
Oh,
from
yeah.
CGE is probably the game I'm most excited about that I'm coming in blind.
Yeah.
And then the one that I'm most excited about that I'm coming in with knowledge is Aquatica Coral Reefs.
Oh,
I
cool.
love Aquatica. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite. It's one of those games that I think I have a higher opinion than the average person.
Yep.
Because it's a well-received game, but it's not the game you hear about on people's top 10 lists, but it is such a good game. So
Yeah.
The new expansion, I'm very excited about that too.
Yeah, so I agree with you on SETI.
Yeah.
That's the one where like the first time I heard about it was this weekend.
Yeah.
And it like blindsided me.
Yeah, I think it's
we
an
went
instant
and
release.
Yeah, we took a look at it and I'm like, I love it. I want it. I want to play it now. I must have it.
Very good.
And then games that I'm excited about that I have heard about. I don't think it's at this con, but it will be making a bigger presence at Gen Con, is Luthier by Paverson Games.
I was reading the rulebook this morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This morning before heading to the convention, before the hall's open, I'm flipping through the rulebook, prepping for that one.
Yeah. No, that one's super good. And Distilled was one of my favorite games last year.
Very, very well received.
And I don't even drink anymore, so that's a pretty good thing. If a game where the theme is about making spirits has a non-drinker excited.
I'm excited.
I think that's a pretty good sign. Well, Alex, thanks for dropping by the booth.
Absolutely.
Man. I
Thanks for
really
having me.
appreciate it. Yeah, and definitely go hit Alex's channel on YouTube. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that. You probably
Board Game Co.
Board
Check it
Game
out.
Co.
Cover too many games because I have to.
And
I want to.
Yeah. And keep on watching us here at Gamingtrend. And we'll have so much more Origins footage and coverage. And of course, we're going to Gen Con this year, and I'm sure I'm going to see you at Gen
Are you gonna have a booth like this? This is
No.
This is so perfect. You don't even understand how much work has to go in to have something like this at a convention. It is insanely impressive.
Well, we did it once before a Gamma Expo a couple of years ago, and I learned a lot. So this is the result of that. But thank you so much.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.